Bonjour, bonsoir. Welcome to another video. This is New Manchester, aka Richard. And before I get into this video, I decided to do this video in the dark, in the kitchen of my house. I just didn't feel like, showing myself on camera. I'm not ashamed to show myself on camera. I just don't feel like it. But, I'll show myself in future videos. So, if any of you guys are interested in seeing me talk on camera, seeing my face, seeing how I look, if you guys are not into that, well, I understand. Well, okay, the camera is is unfocusing out. Okay, it's back. All right, okay, enough of that. Let me get into this video. Okay, I want to talk about Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, or DFW. Let me say it again because I just say things all weird when I start talking in these videos. Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, or DFW. It's an airport. It's the largest airport in the U.S. and it's one of the busiest. And it is divided into by the county boundary between two counties. One county is Tarrant County, the other is Dallas County. And I've been to this airport to catch flights, to other catch flights to other airports. And I'm going there in the fall to in October of this year, 2025, to get on an airplane there and fly to somewhere in China, to get on a cruise ship and sail from China to South Korea to Japan. Yeah, I'm going on another cruise with my parents and my sister, and it's going to be the last one. So, if I want to go on holiday to some places in the world, I guess I have to plan my own trip and go wherever I want to go and go to wherever I want to go abroad. So yeah, I got to foot the bill to plan a trip, book the trip to any country that I want to go of my choosing. And I still want to go abroad. I still want to do it. So, Dallas Fort Worth International Airport. And I'm going to be reading something about that airport. And after that, I'm going to tell you about my experience at this airport. Okay, bear with me. Okay, I found something on Wikipedia about Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, and I'll just go ahead and read it. Dallas Fort Worth International Airport. Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, or DFW, is a primary international airport serving the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex in the North Texas region in the U.S. state of Texas. Let me read this again. Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, or DFW, is a primary international airport serving the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex in the North Texas region in the U.S. state of Texas. Okay, let's see. It is the largest hub for American Airlines, which is headquartered near the airport, and the third busiest airport in the world by aircraft movement, and the second busiest airport in the world by passenger traffic in 2022 and in 2023, according to the Airports Council International. As of 2025, it is the 8th busiest international gateway in the United States and the busiest international gateway in Texas. The hub that American Airlines operates at DFW is the second largest single airline hub in the world in the United States, behind Delta Airlines hub in Atlanta. Located roughly halfway between the major cities of Dallas and Fort Worth, DFW spreads across portions of Dallas and Tarrant counties and includes portions of the cities of Grapevine, Irving, Ellis, and Coppell. At 17,000, at 69 points, let me read this, let me add all of this in, miles and kilometers. At 17,207 acres, 26.89 square mile, or 69.63 kilometers, DFW is the second largest airport by land area in the United States after Denver International Airport, larger than the land area of Manhattan and New York City. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's the rundown for DFW or Dallas Fort Worth International Airport. Okay. I remember going there with my parents to catch a flight to places like Seattle, Washington, an airport, and two airports, one in Atlanta, Georgia, and the other in New York, JFK, to get on another plane and fly to other countries in the world. I noticed when my parents, my sister, and myself, I noticed when we all arrive at the airport, the shuttle bus drivers always make me be the bag man and put everybody's bags on the shuttle bus. And why am I doing a job that's not my job? And I'm on vacation, holiday. I'm gonna catch a flight to another country or other parts of the U.S. to other airports to fly overseas. Like, I'm going to go through all of that, and I got to be the bag boy and put everybody's bags on the shuttle bus. And I'm not the only one that goes through this. They do that to everybody, and it's just kind of crazy. And that's Texas for you. And here in Texas, they'll force you to do a job that you don't want to do. They'll force you to help out. I mean, they don't ask you or anything. They just force you to do it by not saying anything, which is weird. The airport, the Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, is one of the worst airports I ever been to. That airport sucks. It's terrible. I don't like going there. It's an incredibly shitty airport. And I can't wait for the day that, I don't have to catch flights at that airport anymore because I'm going to be living in another country. But, all airports, aren't perfect. They all have their problems. And yeah. But, the TSA security at DFW isn't that bad. It's not, the TSA agents are not uberly strict like TSA agents at JFK or John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York. Yeah, they're not, TSA at DFW is not as strict as the TSA agents at JFK in New York. And, yeah, security, the TSA agents at JFK in New York are insane. They're crazy. Some of them don't give a shit, and I'm going to say, some of those TSA agents at JFK in New York, I think they're just a bunch of fast food worker rejects who worked at fast food restaurants like Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King. Yeah, those places. I bet there are a bunch of fast food rejects who suck at working at a fast food restaurant, so they went and become TSA agents. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see myself being a TSA agent, because TSA agents, what they do is, they look at people. They see what they wear. I wore a pullover fleece, and some TSA agents probably thinking that I'm wearing something. I'm probably hiding a bomb or a gun or a knife, underneath my pull-up fleece that I wore. It's like a sweater. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing a t-shirt and I'm wearing a sweater over it. That's basically what I was wearing. And one of the TSA agents at JFK in New York said that, it was what I was wearing was a hoodie. It didn't have a hood on it. It's not a hoodie, you idiot. It's a pullover fleece. It's like a sweater or a jumper. So, I'm not that good at identifying clothes. Yeah, sneakers, stuff like that. Yeah. Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, or DFW. It's just to me, it's just a lame, crappy, weird airport. Like, it's in Texas, and even though it sucks and you got some weirdness in it, I remember I got off this flight from New York with my parents and my sister after we flew into New York from Rome, Italy, back in 2023, after sailing on that Mediterranean cruise ship. Well, a cruise ship that sailed in the Mediterranean Sea. Is a cruise ship that's basically sailed in the Caribbean or Caribbean. After sailing on that ship in the Mediterranean back in 2023, in southern Europe, and after flying back to New York from Rome in Italy, and flying to and after flying back to DFW from New York over the 2-hour layover, I noticed that when I got into the airport after getting off that flight from New York back in 2023, I noticed everybody was standing in line at the men's restroom. Everybody was lining up, standing in line to use the bathroom. It was the most craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen anything like this. And it's Texas, and a lot of weird stuff, and a lot of crazy stuff, and stuff that just unusual. People in Texas do strange things that people from other states in the U.S. just scratch their heads at, and people around the world view, people in other countries around the world view Texas that way too. So I'm not the only one. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, DFW. You can't like okay. Okay. I noticed at this airport in Atlanta, Georgia, that I flew to from DFW with my parents and my sister back in 2017 to fly to the UK to head to head to Southampton on a bus to get on board a cruise ship to sail around northern Europe in the North Sea. The North Sea, excuse me. Yeah. I noticed that airport in Atlanta, you know, when we arrived in Atlanta, my parents and my sister and myself, when we arrived in Atlanta, we got on these golf courses, these golf cart things, and got on them and just moved fast to the terminal, to the international flight. We flew through there really fast on this cart, just moved fast through there. And we got on this subway train to get to the other part of the airport. Go through all of that to catch the flight. And it was fast, it was convenient, and we didn't have to walk. But I prefer to walk because walking is good exercise. And here in the United States, people don't walk. People don't like walking. I like walking. And I like those countries in Europe where you can just walk on foot without driving a car, because there's a lot of transportation options in countries in Europe. Like you can take the bus, the train, the tram. You can walk on foot. You can ride a bicycle, and there's no need for you to be in a car. And if you ride a bus, the train or the tram, you get to talk to people. You get to meet new people. Something you don't do in the U.S. because you don't have those transportation options, and all you do, like you're just isolated in a car just by driving yourself to places, which sucks. And I got nothing against a car, but I prefer to take other forms of transportation, to save money and not to throw all my money away on filling up the tank of a car, the fuel tank of a car. To fill it up. Spend money at the gas station or petrol station to put fuel in the gas tank of a car and spend money, I can save a lot of money by taking those alternative forms of getting around than driving a car. And going back to the comparison between DFW and that airport in Atlanta, Georgia. The airport in Atlanta, Georgia, I don't remember what the name of it was, Jackson Field Airport, wherever it's called. Arrived at the airport, got in these carts, and the driver of the cart just drove really fast through the airport to get to where we need to get to to get to the terminal to catch the flight to the United Kingdom or Great Britain. Just got on the cart. The driver just drove myself, my parents, and my sister through the airport fast. Then we all caught this subway to get to where we need to go faster. Like I had to hold on to a rod in that train so I won't be bumping all over the place. Kind of like the subway in New York or the underground in London, England, in the UK. And I look at DFW, the Dallas Fort Worth International Airport. They don't have anything like that. You have to walk. And I got nothing against walking. Got nothing against that. So But I know it's when I was at JFK in that airport in Atlanta, Georgia, I noticed I wasn't forced into putting people's bags into the shuttle bus because the person who was driving the shuttle bus did all that for me and my parents and my sister. I didn't have to be forced into being the bag boy like I was at DFW. In some parts of Texas, people just force you into doing a job without asking you. Okay, if you work at a job, someone just walk up to you and just hand you some paperwork for something at a job and just walk away and don't tell you anything, which is weird. Okay, and so that's all I gotta say in this video. And alright, and before I end this video, I'm gonna talk about this. I look at these airplanes here in the US, they serve unhealthy foods on flights, and they got like fast food places at airports all over the US. Yeah, there's fast food restaurants all at airports all over the US. Then on flights, on American flights like American Airlines, Delta, others, American flights, they serve passengers, potato chips and a small glass of soda, like snacks. Like it's just unhealthy because, the United States has unhealthy foods that contain unhealthy ingredients, toxins, dangerous GMOs that lead to people developing like cancer, making them overweight and shorten their lifespans. And someone here on YouTube said that the foods that they give us here in the US, they're trying to kill us with this food. And because American foods the foods in America are unhealthy. Foods in America are just garbage because, forgive me, I eat garbage and I try to eat healthy. Like fruit and vegetable salads, a fruit and vegetable salad with blueberries, strawberries, broccoli, cucumbers, green apples, green grapes, purple grapes. Yeah, I create a salad out of all of that. And I eat that with everything that I eat. And I exercise. You see, I care about my health. But, and it's hard to eat healthy here in the US. It's hard, really hard, because sooner or later, you're going to end up eating something unhealthy because there's too much unhealthy foods around you. There's too much of it. And going to organic food stores, is very expensive because because of the low minimum wage and people work longer hours for less pay. It sucks. And I got done watching a video from one of my subscribers. This guy's name who subscribes to me, it's a teenager from the United Kingdom, and his name is Freeze Dollar. And I watched his video that's titled 50 Reasons Why the United States of America Sucks. So what was the title of it? I think it was 50 Reasons Why America Sucks. And I watched this video and Freeze Dollar just nailed everything about the US. He's not a really good talker, but I can understand what he's saying. I'm not trying to disrespect Freeze Dollar, and he's telling the truth about the US, and I subscribe to him too. He subscribes to me and I subscribe to him. And I look at Freeze Dollar, he's basically the modern day version of me or something. I don't know. But a British version. But I think in the future he's going to get a lot better. I'm going to put all my support to Freeze Dollar, you know, and he subscribes to my channel, and I thank him for subscribing, and I thank all of you for subbing to me as well. Even though you guys don't leave any comments or likes or dislikes on some of the videos I post. So anyway, I think that's all I gotta say in this video. Yeah, DFW, or Dallas Fort Worth International Airport, is one of the worst airports in America, and I can't stand going to that airport. I'm going to be going there in the fall to fly to China with my parents and my sister to get on a cruise, to get on a cruise ship. And I think when we arrive in China, we're going to stay at a hotel before I'm getting, I guess, to stay at this hotel to get on a cruise ship like tomorrow. I guess the cruise ship hasn't arrived in China, but I don't know where I'm going to be going to in China. So yeah. And and also, before I end this video, I'm going to say this: Donald Trump, the president of the United States, has brought back the travel ban. Shades of 2017. And I went through that back in 2017 on a flight to Europe, to the UK. And the travel ban is a nightmare. It's a nightmare, I guess, for Americans, and it's a nightmare for people who are not Americans. And and I praise the people of Canada for not choosing to go to the U.S. on vacation. A lot of Canadians are selling their vacation homes in Florida, Arizona, and California. Yeah, because of the crazy immigration trash that President Trump has created. So, and I'm going to say this, if I wasn't an American, if I was not from the United States and I was from another country, I wouldn't fly to the US either. I wouldn't go on vacation to the US either. I would just basically, vacation in my home country or go to other countries and don't go to the US. Okay, that's all I gotta say in this video. And I like doing this video in the dark. I like this. So anyway, merci beaucoup. Au revoir. Cheers. Goodbye.